Hey, welcome to my stage 1 of the Cologne Major prediction video. We're going to use the HLTV predictor to do it because it'll let you it'll automatically seed teams depending on who they've lost to and who they've won to. So right off the bat, we'll do the Gamer Legion Energy game. I think Energy, I believe, I gotta click it, there we go. Gamer Legion should easily clean up Energy. Having seen them play in Atlanta was really good. Hypex, PR, Towson, Snacks. Oh my! Everyone, Res. I'm thinking I'm forgetting. I think I'm missing someone. It was Res, Hypex, PR, Towson, Snacks. I think I had everybody. Well, either way, everyone played really well on the playoff stage. They made the grand final for a reason. They played really well individually and as a team. Next, I think I would imagine they would beat Tyloo. I think this because they're just a European team in general, and Tyloo really, other than beating FaZe, I think it was the Blast Open. That's their only big win this season. Heroic, I believe, should beat Sharks. Heroic could look really good this season. They've improved a lot since not making the Budapest Major, and I think Sharks is an okay Brazilian team, but they've not really left their region at all. Sort of the same thing with Gaming Gladiators. They're playing with the stand-in. This should be an easy bet boom win. Big, I think as a team we're just better. Blame F, great in-game leader, still able to contribute in-game as just being able to take space, deal damage, get kills. Tapson's still looking pretty good. I believe Grix is the Opera. He's looked good. A lot of good pieces on this big roster. M80 versus Lin Vision. I'm probably gonna. This is probably all gonna be like this, but M80, I believe, will beat Lin Vision. Now this one's a bit tricky because right now it's the Counter Strike Asian Championship Series. I think CAC, or Counter Strike Asian Championship, whatever it's called. That's going on now. I believe they won the upper bracket final, so they're a semifinalist. And I want to, that's the best that they've done so far this season. They're sort of powering up right when you want them to. I originally had picked Thunder Down Under, just drop something, but I think I am going to pick MIBR, and then I think Sinners beats FlyQuest. FlyQuest have looked terrible. They've not looked very good at all this season. I think if they were in another region, they wouldn't be here. All right, now Gamer Legion. Oof, because these are best of ones, it is difficult. But I want to say that Gamer Legion, because they have to have better pieces, better structure, I think they will beat Sinners. Sinners sort of qualified last minute, literally last minute. If FaZe had won, they would have been out. And like I said, Gamer Legion have looked really good. Sinners also played in, I want to say it was Atlanta, and they did not. It was either Atlanta or it was Astana. I want to say it was Atlanta. They did not get to the playoffs. Gamer Legion made a grand final. That's that. Bait, I think, will then beat MIBR. I think that's a pretty guaranteed win. Heroic then win against M80. Once again, Heroic, it's better pieces. M80 kind of weak against European teams. They had a better season about a year. I think it was last year up into going into Austin. I think because they won, they made playoffs. I believe it was the first Open. It was Blast Libsyn. I can't pronounce it. It was either that or it was Rotterdam. I can't remember. It's one of those two. I want to say it was Libsyn. And then I think we're actually going to pick on the right side for once. I've got Big beating Bet Boom. Bet Boom was they were semifinalists at Atlanta, but they got destroyed by Navi, and then they got destroyed by Legacy. And I mean they got put in the dirt hard. And I think Big, they've been together longer. I think they're going to be playing better in general. Energy, I think Energy beats FlyQuest. Energy I think just a better team. Just in general, I think that's not arguable. Tyloo, I think Thunder Thunder will beat Tyloo. I think because they've looked really good. I think they are the premier Aussie CS team, and this is a hunch, but I think if FlyQuest really wants to compete, not maybe just for titles though, but just to be like a top, you know, top, top of tier two, bottom of tier one, they need to get to bring Dexter back as the end game leader. Maybe bring back Alistair. I've not seen him too much. I just know that they've looked a lot. They've done better than FlyQuest have. And then Sharks, Vision. This is a toss up. I think Liquid beats Game and Gladiators. We'll just do that one real quick. This is a tough one. I'm gonna pick Vision. I just don't know enough about Sharks. I know maybe a little bit more about Vision. It's because they've played in more majors and there's more tape, at least against international teams. And then here, I'm going to pick, this is a tough one, Big Bait. These two are very tough. I could see it going either way. We'll come down to the one of ones. Still best of ones for this bracket. I think very close for MIBR, I think beats Vision. We'll do that one real quick. Sinners or Synergy. I think Sinners wins. I think Bet Boom wins. This isn't looking good for the other teams. And then M80, Thunder Down Under. You know what? I'm going to pick big. I think. Well, no, I think bait. I'm going to pick bait. It's because they've been playing a lot more. Yeah, big isn't. I feel like they've not played in anything lately. Bait has been good enough to qualify for Tier 1 events, and they've done okay. I believe they made playoffs at CAC, and they lost in the quarterfinal. But I mean, the fact that they're making playoffs at smaller tier one events isn't something to scoff at. Whether or not there's teams that are actually really good. And then Gamer Legion, I think Gamer Legion. I think just because of their showing at Atlanta, I was there in person and they looked really good. They would be down a map and they would come back and they'd win it pretty well. And then Thunder Down Under M80. Tough, 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 tough. You know what? I think M80 is just going to pop off and beat them. This toss up could go either way without really going in depth of map pool of what teams pick. And then Tyloo FlyQuest. I think Tyloo beats FlyQuest. This will be the first 03. So I've got my first 3 O's, Aim Religion Bait. I've got my first one here. And I think Sharks in a Brazilian Showdown beats Game and Gladiators. They're playing with the sand at the first 34 years old. Unless he can roll back the years to like 2016 and just pop off and have an amazing series. And maybe on a hard carry, but it's not, look like someone who's going to contribute to this team as like a mid-level player on it. I think Sharks wins that. And then Heroic Bet Boom. Heroic, I'm going to pick Heroic here. Big. So we've got Heroic and Big as the 3 ones. And then I think M80 will beat MIBR in a best of 3. It's because M80, while they haven't done a lot, they've at least competed against international teams a little bit more than MIBR have. Because other than like I think a few, maybe I don't think they've really played much at all at international tier one that much. And then NRG Sharks, I think NRG beats Sharks. You got a Chinese duel here. I think Tyloo wins. And then Liquid Thunder Down Under. Ugh. It's a tough one. I don't like any. I mean, I think Thunder will win. As much as I love Liquid as a somewhat of a Liquid fan, I think I don't know, they're just a good team. Liquid have looked terrible. I mean, if they're not finishing last, they're finishing like second to last at any event pretty much. I don't think they made playoffs or even gotten close to playoffs this season. They once again they had to leave the Europe region to come back to America, which I'm fine with, whatever. Don't care about that. But they just look so out of sorts. Like everybody would rather be somewhere else than on that team, which is sad because it's such a short organization. And then MIBR, I think will beat Tyloo, and then I think Bet Boom beats Sinners, and then this, I want to pick NRG. I want to pick them. I want to pick them, but they've failed me 2 times now in both Austin and Budapest. And to avoid making myself look dumb, I am once again, I'm actually not once, I'm going to pick the opposite of what I'd like to see, and I think that will be the final teams. So I've got, once again, Gamer Legion, Bait 3-0, got Heroic, Big, M80, 3-1. Not that this matters in the CS pick'ems in the game, but MVBR, 3-2, Bet Boom with them, 3-2, Thunder and Under, 3-2. And then I've got O3, FlyQuest, Gaming Gladiators, 1-3 Sharks, Lint Vision, Liquid, Tyloo, Sinners, and Energy, the last three, to be 2-3. So I will go lock these in, and then I'm going to explore the Cologne store a little bit. And while that's going on, maybe I'll talk about what my thoughts are on how they've revamped the store, what I like, and what I dislike. So I'll see you there in a little bit. All right, I have gotten the pass. Well, there's the red line you can use, but the picks are saved. Now let's go to Team Graffiti. Let's pick a Team Graffiti. You like the Cologne. We'll go Navi. I'm a Navi fan. Right, let's visit the shop. So right off the bat, you've got these are the most popular stickers. So we've got Ellen's Event might be alright. What's a cool one? Got Neckiz. Bait one. Matches up to date. This is, I'm not sure who this is. Zorte. Oh, you can see it for BetBoom. HypeX. 4,000. That's a lot. That is a lot. So let's talk about this. So instead of capsules, they've done it where you can, in essence, purchase them directly. But you have to use tokens to do so. And that's sort of what they've put it to sort of stop refunds. And that's great and all, but 100 tokens, as you can see, is 99 cents, roughly $1. So if you want a gold like these, it's $7 and like 40 something cents. Yeah. Which is okay. Which I guess in the grand scheme of things is fine, but you really can't buy too many golds. And here, big, this isn't exactly right. How does it go from $1.30 to $1? That's a nice one though. So that's one of the. I don't mind the direct purchases though, but I feel like $7 can be, it's a bit much for a gold, but that's beyond the point. But as you can see, you can pick your team, and it lists you the lowest price all the way up to the highest price. So it looks like autograph for Bit, Makazi, Wonderful has the most expensive, and I can see why. It's cool. It's a nice autograph. I do like the 3D effect. You can kind of see it on the letters. They're almost like they're projecting out. I think these are really. Now that I've looked at them in person, I think these stickers are actually really good. I was a bit skeptical at first, but I think they're really good. Oh, oof, look at that. The papers aren't too bad. Papers can almost have like a kind of a foily look to them. But let's see. Back to the shop, and then you can buy $18 for this. That's expensive. Damn. Normally these only sell for like 3 cents. I bet these are so expensive because no one's bought them. And so they're of course going to just sit how they are until the price goes down for the pricing of it. And then, let's see all. These are the top stickers. Now they had it where, close, click, convert any of your weapons into autograph mementos, click on any finished match below, and that's how you make your souvenir. So instead of buying a container to get a weapon out of it of any quantity, you can now, as you can clearly see, you can make a AK redline if you wanted into a souvenir. And if I remember the post correctly, depending on the quality of the skin in terms of its rarity, be it if it's a classified, covert, or a consumer grade weapon, it'll depend on how much it costs to add the stickers. And as you can kind of see, I believe that's Brolin. There's the Mouse. There's a FlyQuest, which they're pretty, want to say it's a FlyQuest. Either whoever they're playing, that's pretty bold. It's a that's bold of FlyQuest to make it stage 2 or 3, wherever Mouse is. And then an ancient sticker. And that's great, but I feel like it is nice to see have a player autograph, though, but the whole point of getting the autographs, at least on the older souvenirs, is that that autograph was from a round that either would be randomly dropped from a match or later on towards before all the COVID stuff, when they switched to the newer model of where you can just buy the souvenir package outright, you can at least go on the back when it had it, you could go on the little majors tab. You could click each match, and then you could look at see who had an MVP somewhere. And when the majors go on, that's how you would get your MVP autograph, your sort of souvenir for it. And that was cool. And now we've made some progress towards getting us back to the autographs on it. But now it's just like, yeah, you can have it on there, but in essence, you could have just, the not even the. I mean, I would have gotten rid of the map on it, because at that point, doesn't it's cool and all, but you want that it's the Cologne Major to make them like how they used to be. How like here, I can show you one. There's that. I can find an old. Here you go. That one. So this is what it was. So as you can see. Dropped into the grand final match between Gambit Esports and Immortals, an autograph by Abe Kasanov, Hobbit, right here, who is the most valuable player in that round. So, I mean, like, if you got this one, it was because it was a valuable play. It was a big play. And this one right here is a really good example. This is a Fnatic Team Liquid Cologne 2016. It was semifinal. And if you know who had a MVP round, it was probably simple because he had the jumping, not jumping no scope, but the falling no scope onto one, and then a no scope at long range. So this one has value just because it's tied to hopefully that round. I bought this on Skimport. Can't exactly tie it to it, but the idea is that this is sort of the round where this was dropped. Pretty big deal because it's got Simple's name on it when he was in Liquid. It's an important moment in CS history. It's sort of where he really. For me, it's where he began his CS career. It's like where he went from being, it's sort of the beginning of his superstardom, of him making just ridiculous plays. Because before then, you don't really see him at least at first, any sort of the big moments, you don't see it with him before then. But now we're getting sidetracked. Back to the major. But that's sort of my loose, deranged thoughts on it. But hopefully, I will do pretty good on this prediction. But thank you for watching. Hope the end of if you have watched this far, I do appreciate it. Hopefully the end of it wasn't a bit too unorthodox or just crazy. But until then, I will see you guys later for stage 2. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.